with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. You need to read this. Play the harlot, you say. As simple as it can be. Well, and you're probably saying, nah. You just, this is what Jeremiah called, Braden, is this guy's name Braden? That debated Josh. He was talking about him carpet bombing him with a lot of proof text. Listen, y'all need to do some proofing. That's the problem. Because this is not deep Bible study at all. This is curiosity. This is inquisitive. Like, I have got to find out why this is so important. And there's some other things associated with David. Genesis 38:24, and it came to pass, basically that was the same passage. Here's Ruth. Now, I'm just going to take it for granted tonight that you know that Ruth is in the seed line of Jesus, and that you know the account of Ruth. It's only 4 chapters, and it's a beautiful story. It's used at weddings all the time. But people just don't like to read the begetting. I've heard people make fun of it. Well, you have a whole doctrine that crumbles because you won't beget. Your brain won't beget the energy for you to read the begettals and find out who is with whom and the family lines. And it's been in here for centuries, not just centuries, but millennium. This millennium, that millennium, this millennium. It's been in here, and you're saying, I just hate that part of Chronicles. Yeah, all you had to do is read the 2nd chapter of 1 Chronicles, and you would have been up right then. Now, these are the generations of Pharez. Who's Pharez? Pharez is the bastard. Let's count. Pharez, 1. Hezron, 2. Beget, do you want to hear the beget? Ram, 3. Aminadab, 4. Nahshon, 5. Salmon, 6. Boaz, 7. Obed, 8. Jesse, 9. David, 10. A bastard to the 10th generation. What about it? Cannot go into the congregation. Cannot enter into the congregation. This is serious business. You think David was not a serious student of the Word? Seriously? Psalm 122:1. When you read it, what do y'all say? How do y'all use this? What context do you find it in? I mean, I would like to know. How do you use these verses? What do you do with them? I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I know you were. Because your daddy couldn't. Why? Because he is actually 9 generations. You don't know this stuff? Can you hear that? You want to hear Dan making fun? I'm saying the stuff that we actually see with folk that are in the sectarian world is just unbelievable. The ignorance of the pastors there is no way to describe it. I'm just saying, quantify it. Take a listen.
To disprove the doctrine of the tree of life, but the tree of good and evil. He died that very day. That death brought about, of course, his physical death, in which God pronounced upon him later. And therefore that brought about everlasting death. And all men are in this condemnation. So Psalm 51:5 says this. Johnny said it was talking about the family tree of David. But David is talking about his personal existence. He's talking about him being conceived in his mother's womb. Johnny is saying...
Where else would he be conceived? What in the world are you talking about? He has no idea what he's talking about. And he doesn't know how dumb he is actually looking. His church, these primitive Baptists around here, they go to a different place every Sunday, itinerant or circuit riding type of thing. And I hate to make fun of Dan, but listen, hey, you put yourself out there as a pastor, and he had a mentor that was in Indiana that had 100 plus debates with gospel preachers. What's a gospel preacher? It's a person that is not going to teach you about a denomination. They're not going to teach you anything associated with getting in a denomination and associating with a denomination. None of that. Gospel preaching. There is no denominationalism in gospel preaching. So his mentor should have known this stuff.